emergency
I
fund.
don't see they have an explanation as to why either.
Well, they have one facility they're redoing, so it's offline altogether. Whether that led to taxing, I don't know. But, you know, you think about the impact, you know, had restaurants shut down, and, you know, and then, you know, what was it, in Milford, that conferred?
Yeah,
That was a private water company, they supplied, at least supplied water for people. Gloucester's not doing that. Okay, and Hillview is, we're waiting for, what's from them on the, improvement of the, greens. That's it.
Good night.
Nice chatting with
Any other comments regarding that, Craig, at this point? I think what we'll do is, offline, you and I will go over the numbers and things, make a presentation, bring it forth to the board for review. Is that, people comfortable with that?
I'm fine with that.
Just
Yep.
Okay, what we're gonna pay for it. Administrators report.
Item number one is just for informational reasons, concerns the decision on the arbitration claim, which involved filing by Local 25. The town did prevail on both counts, and it was an expensive and an exhausting effort by both the town and the union. The decision can be appealed to Superior Court within 30 days. So the arbitrator's decision could be appealed. The grounds for that appeal are fairly narrow. I think you received a copy of it. But nevertheless, an appeal could be forthcoming. As of this date, we do not have an appeal filed. The board had asked me at the last meeting to follow up on some information concerning the fire hydrant fee, and forwarded that to you this evening. The amount that's resulting from the various condominium complexes in town. And you'll note in going through it that there's a total of about $12,000 that the town does raise on an annual basis through this reoccurring charge.
So Steve, which one of the properties was where they were complaining?
Central Place,
Yeah, check that.
63 Central.
So they have three there.
Right. I guess in looking at what you provided to us previously, it was a policy, I think. I forgot to put it back in my packet. It was to collect the fees from the commercial entities. It didn't specifically include residential properties, even though they have to maintain their own roads and that sort of thing. That's why we look for this information to see, do we want to revisit and take another look at what we're doing and how we're requiring certain developments within the community to pay this fee. To me, the condominium owners are residential taxpayers, just like you and I, who happen to own a single-family home. When it comes to fire protection, at least I look upon it that way. It's like, water. The regular water being supplied, they don't pay any extra for water going in and out of their developments of their condominiums, but we're requiring them to pay a hydrant fee, annual fee, for fire protection. And like I said, I guess I'm questioning our practice of charging them. Sunbridge Care, I mean, that's the nursing home. To me, that's a commercial entity, so I don't look at that a little bit differently. Yeah.
Residence.
What's that?
It's a residence, though. It's a residence for all the residents that live there.
I understand that, but the
I don't
residents,
look at it
but
any
the
different.
residents that are living there are not paying full property taxes there. It's a commercial entity, it's not a nonprofit, it's a commercial
I
entity.
understand.
The business is being operated there, it happens to be a nursing home. You know, Edgewood Apartments,
Same thing.
that's the same thing, you know, that's a for-profit entity, you know. But the rest of these are condominiums, you know, those are looked upon as single-family dwellings.
Well, someplace senior living,
Yeah, those are that's what they call it, that's the condo complex, each one an individual condominium
oh, okay.
complex, as are all the rest of them.
Mill Farm is a
What's that?
condo?
Yeah,
Mill
that-
Farm?
yes,
those
Is that
are
right?
fine.
I'm not familiar
Yes.
with it, that's why I asked.
This one right at the corner on 62 heading towards the cemetery.
The other
the
was
development.
laying on the corner of 62, right, so the cemetery. He left out an answer.
There's 27 units in there, single-family units, condominiums. Yep.
I'm sorry. Well,
Yes.
I guess the only point I'd like to bring out, just to bring it out, is the one complex that did question it, this fee was in effect when they built it. This wasn't something that came in after they built that, I believe. I believe this fee was.
Right, but yeah,
Yeah, it
that's,
was-
yeah,
yeah.
the
But I mean-
same with Roe Farm, same with Mount Vernon Street, same with Edgewater, these are all new developments. The only,
Right,
the
but I'm
only
saying, no, it's only being
grandfathered
questioned
ones
by
here
one.
are Park Colony and Greenbrier.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is, it's only being questioned by one. And again, with the financial difficulties we have, if we remove this, you know, we're,
This
Well,
is
we move
water
almost-
revenue, and we're not having financial difficulties within the water department and
well,
sustaining
I'm
it
sure
and
they could
balancing
find
our.
$12,000 to spend if we gave it to them.
No, they're already getting it. They get $66,000 from this revenue stream. This is just on the residential.
I understand that.
It's
I
less than
understand
that. Those are good. It's less than that.
Let's just set up over with the, units at the Thompson Club.
I don't see the Thompson Club included on this. I don't see Northridge included on this. I don't, you know, there's some of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
So I'm not,
Would that imply that they're paying? I mean, they're not paying?
Well, either that or someone didn't
include them on the list.
include them on the list.
But Thompson Country Club is, how do you miss it?
Right.
Right.
Well,
Eh,
same thing with,
Northridge is relatively new. You know, so, but to me, I think it just as a matter of policy, maybe we should be taking a look at that, is looking at what the language that was presented to us, and clearly define them as commercial, I thought, commercial entities were going to be charged this, and no doubt until they were sold out, you know, they were a commercial entity, but after that, then.
Greg, what's your confidence level that we've listed everybody that we're collecting from on this list? Is it high?
Fairly good, because I asked for residential properties that were being assessed to date.
Well, there's two big complexes that are not on the list, so you
Because
have
the
to.
question is, how is that, what's the timing of those issues? Yeah, I'm in a little bit of a loss, because I wasn't here when any of these.
No, I understand.
No,
But it seems to me that,
Park Colony predated Thompson Club and sort of Greenbrier, Thompson Club and, you know, Northridge certainly.
yeah, so,
So
yeah, several of these certainly, came into play, before,
But I think,
Northridge.
again, in support of condominium owners, again, who, to me, I look upon them as residential taxpayers just like everybody else. And there's no doubt that when they came into the community and they were built, some of them on a planned unit development type thing, or 40B, or whatever, they got some exemptions in relation to zoning in order to have them come to fruition. And in return, the town ensured that the maintenance and upkeep of the roads and snow plowing and trash removal will be paid for by the association. I don't recall that vote that we took, there's no doubt we did, in establishing these fees for commercial users. But I think at that time, I probably would have objected to the residential properties being considered commercial users, because they're not.
Yeah, I, you know, if we're gonna reword this and rethink it, I think we're gonna have to be careful how we use that word commercial, and I only say that because, and maybe I'm carrying this out a little too far.
I've been known to do that,
At
too.
some time when this town may do a split tax rate, these condominiums will be considered commercial, am I correct?
No,
They won't.
no, they're residential. No,
Oh,
absolutely
I thought they
not.
were considered commercial under the tax
No,
rate.
they're individually owned, but
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
oh,
no.
okay. Okay, that's all I
I
was
think that's
thinking
the
of.
point he's gonna
Right.
make, but
Is
I
that
think
wording
the
there?
next step would be, to look at these couple, or two or three that may be missing, and find out if, in fact, they are, this list is accurate, or they're not being billed. And if that's the case, then we have a problem anyway,
Right.
because we haven't treated everybody the same. Now, there may be some reasons for that as part of the agreements, and the negotiations associated with these programs going forward, and if that's the case, well, that's one thing, but, I understand where you're coming from, and saying, why, they're paying taxes.
I'm not looking to have their trash picked up, and I'm not looking to have their roads plowed, and I'm not looking to have it sanded, I'm not looking to maintain it.
Of course, you
But-
could be opening Pandora's box.
No, but when it comes to a fire hydrant,
Well, in
unfortunately,
fact, one individual that called me had an interesting argument. He says, this fire hydrant that's in this specific location, he says, it's closer to some homes in the residential area, and they'll certainly be using it in the fire.
Oh, and the other thing, was, in that specific development, that Central Place, there's, 20-some odd units there. You've got 3 fire hydrants. And again, it was to augment and supplement fire protection for the Taylor Road area, which is about down off of Mead Road,
Yeah, that's what he
and
meant, was.
Central Street.
He was saying,
I mean,
they
they only
might
need-
be using this
they probably only
hydrant
need
for
one
fighting a
hydrant there,
fire,
maybe two.
off in an adjacent neighborhood.
But I just think as a matter of course, I think we need to revisit, personally, I think we need to revisit this and maybe accept
All right, so perhaps at our next meeting, Greg, or you could get back to the board and just determine lot three.
And see if we could find our way clear based upon the language that we have in the, what you provided us earlier, where we could exempt these properties without, again, opening a Pandora's box in relation to other things.
And did you say that Sunbridge and Greenbrier were commercial?
No, I just said Sunbridge.
Sunbridge.
Sunbridge and Edgewood.
And Edgewood, okay.
Edgewood is Lincoln's property down here.
So,
At least, I consider them that, but that's just me,
I'd agree with you.
you know. But Thompson and
Northridge.
Northridge are the two that you want to question, I guess.
Well, now what about, Row Farm Development? Those,
Those are all condominiums, single family.
They're on the list, aren't they?
well, they're on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're being assessed.
Yeah.
The association's being assessed.
and the intent was, this was to identify residential condominiums that are paying for fire hydrants, right?
Well, I mean, you could see how it starts with, first of all, there's a developer involved, and, they negotiate something, and as part of it, for onto this assessment.
Right.
They weren't thinking about, well, in the end, the individual taxpayers are really paying the bill.
The developer doesn't really care what the
And-
fee is
and-
that gets passed on.
But the development paid for the installation of
They
them,
paid
if I
for the
recall,
installation,
right?
Yeah, the installation of the
right.
infrastructure, right,
Yeah.
as part of the development plan.
All right, let's-
But again, when you talk about, the total revenue was approximately $66,000, I think, that we raised,
63.
63,000,
63.
$63,000. And you're really talking about, excluding the two that I mentioned here, about 70, a little over $7,300 bucks.
Well, I'm
1,900.
confused now. The total here is 11,000.
That's just for the residential. The total money collected for this hydrant revenue
Oh,
is
okay.
$63,000. And what we asked for was an update as to how much of that 63,000 was
Was
generated from residential.
And then they
Okay.
listed a couple here that we would exclude on top of it all.
So you.
So
Right, so we're down about
Check to that.
$7,300.
Yeah.
You're down
okay,
about
all right, now I understand
$7,300
what you- Okay.
a year. And again, as far as where the money goes, and it certainly is not what we established that policy and charge, the water revenue stream was strained, which it is not right now. We're actually in pretty good shape.
Okay, and, that's it. You have an executive session?
Yeah, just a quick update is, we do have a bond rating conference with Moody's coming up tomorrow. This is in preparation for our annual,
September.
September issuance, and